What a disaster. Absolute disaster. A catastrophe. And I don't know whether I should be completely shocked or just understanding of the result. The complete shock to me is just the fact that this is the formula. This is the Steelers' way of doing things. I expected us to get that dub in the fourth quarter. Offense looks anemic first half. Defense is keeping it close. They're giving their best effort, but it's a little helter-skelter early on. They were giving up some big plays on the ground, giving up some big plays in the pass, but ultimately gave up only 10 points in those first two quarters. Okay, cool. Defense absolutely ramps it up. Second half, we get turnovers. Offense starts picking it up a little bit. Not to the extent that we want, but enough to have the game tied in the fourth quarter and us to get the ball, end the game. Kenny Pickett, KP8 clutch time, and just ultimately us to either kick the game-winning field goal or get the game-winning touchdown. Like, I thought that was it. I was getting all the texts from my buddies in the first half. I was getting all the social media tweets, the tags saying, Deke, Kenny sucks, this and that. Get him out of here. DTR is better than Kenny. I was like, all right. Let the game play out. I'll let you guys all have your overreaction. Let me watch the game play out for a full four quarters because Kenny's going to show that we're going to win this game. He's going to deliver that final game-winning drive. The game's 4 quarters, not just 2 quarters. And we were there. We got the ball, minute and a half left, right? You even heard the announcer. This is what they call KP8 time. Just didn't happen. Didn't happen in this one. So that's in one way why my brain is shocked, not really computing the result. But at the same time, I guess we can understand, particularly us Steeler fans that have watched this team for the last decade, that even though another team's starting quarterback is out, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a guaranteed win for us. So that's the other side of things. Browns have their third string quarterback in there and DTR, and he ends up him and the Browns. I can't just give all the credit to DTR because I don't think he was that good. I mean, really, second half, he was nothing. It was absolutely nothing in the second half. But he did have the final drive. So, like, if I'm going to give credit to KP8 for the clutch drives that he has in the fourth quarter, I guess you got to give credit where credit is due. He did make some really nice passes. But I'm going to talk about that because what I saw from the Browns in that final drive, what I saw from the Browns even throughout the game is setting up their quarterback with halfway decent plays that they could get the ball over the middle of the field, like slant patterns and whatnot. For us, it just seems so lateral. So lateral. I get it. Kenny Pickett, yeah, could have had a better game, this and that. Where are the play calls, man? Where are the receivers getting open? Where's the offensive line at? Because they regressed too this game. That's my thing. I think the offense just went one step back. We've taken 2 steps forward after the bye. This was like a 1 step back type of game that leaves you with questions again. I thought we had more answers than questions heading into this game, but now we're getting some questions. Oh, we had it, man. Thought we had it. Close game. Defense making plays second half. Kenny Pickett offense. We're going to string a drive or two together. We're going to come out of there with a dub. But I guess we hit the formula like too many times this year. It was almost like we were getting away with a glitch. And finally, they patched it. Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. You guys are going to have to figure it out a little bit more earlier on the offensive side of the ball than to just keep getting away with winning like this. But let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. The chat is bumping right now. Chat is bumping. Then the thing is about that minute 30, if I knew that's the result that we were going to put out there with that last series, just a quick 3 and out, wasted 17 seconds of clock, I would have said just run the ball then. Let's get this to overtime. But obviously, if we just would have ran the ball, we would have also been upset too. I just didn't expect it to play out the way that it did. I'm sorry. Kenny and Deontay, I think all 3 throws went to Deontay. Deontay dropped the first one, miscommunication on the second one, and then Kenny overthrew Deontay on the third down. Really frustrating, man. Really, really frustrating. Really frustrating because that was a hell of a defensive effort throughout the game. Through the majority of that game, with all the injuries that we had, starting inside linebackers out. We got Trenton Thompson out there, who was a preseason darling. I hadn't heard of him since we just picked him up. Or no, he was on the practice squad since we just activated him to the 53-man. I completely forgot he was even close to like the Steelers' radar of actually playing in a regular season game. But I guess he was just chilling on our practice squad this whole time. Yeah. Called him up. He was starting as our safety. Him, Michael Walker was out there for a little bit. Elijah Riley got some snaps. He ended up getting hurt. I don't know if he came back in the game. But it was a really good effort by the defense. Only held the Browns only to, let me get the stats here, 96 yards on the ground. Tremont only had 36. Jerome Ford, 31. DTR had 20 off some scrambles. That was it. Really good effort by us. But it went to waste. Yeah, if you're only holding the Browns, you're just not even the Browns, to any opponent, 13 points, that should be enough to win a game. Not today. Not today, unfortunately. Offense took a step back. There's no denying it. Kenny didn't look great. I just don't think the offense as a whole looked great. I think Canada took a step back. Some of these play calls. Najee Harris, I think, needs to take a seat. Jaylen Warren needs to be RB1 and out there 80 to 90% of the time. The only time Najee gets on the field is if Jaylen Warren needs a rest. I'm done with the split backfield. It's night and day when those two are out there. Night and day. In fact, when Jaylen Warren had that 70-plus yard run, I was amazed in a way because we hadn't seen a run like that in ages. I was like, wait. Are we sure there's no one behind Warren? Is he actually going to take this all the way? Is someone going to tackle him? Then he took it the distance. And that was a game breaker. You could feel the momentum shift. Defense started playing better after that. Offense, like, the frustrating part is we moved the ball at times, but then it would be like a 3rd and short where we just wouldn't get it. Things would stall out, and we'd have to punt. Now, Presley Harvin, he could have been better, but I don't think he's a top priority in relation to concerns after this game. He had to punt way too many times. He had a bad one or two, but how many did he end up having? Like 7 or 8? If you only have one or two bad punts, it's not the end of the world. But man. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Kenny stuff in the chat right now. Seeing a lot of Kenny stuff. We'll get to it. Let me just give some shout outs real quick because this is, the end of my intro, what I was talking about with DTR, his final drive, and just some of the things I was seeing from the Browns offense compared to ours. Just makes me wonder. Is it all on Kenny? And you know what I'm thinking. No, I don't think it is. I don't think we're setting him up for success. Can we run a slant pattern? I think we had one slant pattern the whole game. Meanwhile, the Browns were able to nickel and dime us with slants that whole final drive. Like it was nothing. Why can't we just get a slant pattern? Get it for 5 or 6 yards. See if Deontay or Pickens can break a tackle. The runs with Najee Harris going nowhere. The offensive line giving up pressure in the snap of a finger. Is that on Kenny? Now, I can't understand in a way why the offense was the way it was throughout this game. I think there is an explanation. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can't understand it. Let me give some shout outs first. Hold on. Give me a sec. Lord Dre's in the house, 10. Was good, man. JWE, 310. What's popping? Funky Fresh, 16. Yeah, a lot of you guys are saying Kenny's not it. James Arcaro, 123. Bro, he played as good as a 3rd-string quarterback. David Garrett, 4. He says he can't throw a slant. We only gave him I think, one opportunity to throw a slant, and it was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Sandman 9-1, 9-2. Can't believe Kenny couldn't drive down the field like that. WTF are they doing? Yeah, it was disappointing. It was disappointing. I thought it was a lock because that's what Kenny has done throughout his 10 years of Pittsburgh Steelers. We get the ball tied or the score is close, we end up getting the dub, no? I'm just seeing a lot of Kenny hate here. A lot of Kenny hate. I'm just asking you guys, and I'm legit going to watch this all 22 whenever this comes out. I'm legit asking you guys, what play do you think was left out there on the table that Kenny missed so bad this game? What play was out there? Because I could talk about that, the Jaguars game or the Titans game where he missed throws. What play was out there for him? Because everything I saw that was negative for us was either the Browns defensive line was getting to us within a second or two, or we had a very predictable run call with Najee Harris that would go absolutely nowhere, or Kenny would have to check it down. Outside of so what one's on Kenny there? What if the receivers aren't open? And you could hear the announcer saying that throughout the game. Brown secondary, they're locking up the receivers. So would you rather just him throw one up into double coverage for the sake of that and maybe get a pick? Or would you rather keep the game close and get it to where we were, had the ball, minute 30 left? I'll take my chances with that because that has worked out in terms of us winning games. Not excusing the offense at all because, we do need to get better throughout the course of the game. Absolutely. And you saw what took place in this one. It's like the margin of error is so thin. We got to step it up. We got to pick it up because now we actually got our first one. And this could be a wake-up call. Like I said at the beginning, we were succeeding on the glitch. We were cheating the system in a way. We just closed our eyes and pressed. Could this formula work? Could we keep doing this? Offense, garbage first half. Defense, helter-skelter, but we get turnovers and they step it up for sequences of events. Can we pull this off? And then we pressed it this time and it didn't work. So I think this is a wake-up call for us. I really do. Now, what changes? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. 2 step forward, 1 step back. I don't know if there is some big-time changes that need to happen right now. Obviously, middle of the season. We're still 6-4. And the Browns, as much as I hate to say it, you saw the stats that they popped up on the screen. The Browns are, by a statistical standpoint, and I'm just shocked. I'm even saying it. They're the best defense in the league. And so I kind of hinted at this. I think that is why the offense looked like what it did the majority of this game. Super conservative. Because I don't think we were trying to put a ton of exposure on Kenny Pickett. Not only to potentially turn the ball over, anything like that. I just think for his health's sake. Because if we would have dropped him back to pass 4 or 5 wide with little protection throughout the course of this game, I think dude would have got hurt. I think he would have got sacked 6, 7, 8 times. Because you saw literally the one time where we did need to pass. I think we had to convert on a 3rd down. It was a 3rd and long, one of the later drives of the 4th quarter. He hits Deontay, we get the 1st down. Like, if he didn't get that pass off in the manner that he did, that would have been a sack. But he also got blasted by Myles Garrett. That would have been all game. So I think we were trying to protect Kenny Pickett from that standpoint, just getting blasted. Because you saw how Dan Moore was looking. You saw Broderick Jones at times giving up some pressure. Our interior, again, took a step back. Mason Cool, Isaac Sam. It was disappointing to see because I thought our offensive line was trending in the right direction. But the full context or the full picture of this is the Browns might actually have a legit defense. I think it's safe to say that at this point of the season. Steel Nash, now we babying QBs now. No, I'm not saying that at all. No, not at all. I am not saying that at all. All right, I get that we saw Kenny throw for 100 yards here. And what was his first half stats? 5 for 8, 30 something yards, right? We only asked the dude to pass the ball 8 times. He had 30 something yards. Can we not also understand that the Browns ran the ball pretty good and took up huge chunks of time where we didn't have that many offensive possessions in the first half to get into any sort of rhythm? Couldn't that be the case too? Threw 8 passes. The dude threw 8 passes. My question is this again, can we get plays to set him and the offense up for better success? That's the one thing I'm seriously wondering. Why aren't we passing the ball up the middle of the field? Why don't we just have some basic slant patterns that every other NFL team is doing? Why can't we do that? Why does everything, it feels like, have to be so hard? We're going side to side on offense. Or at least we did the majority of the game. The best stuff we were doing was when we would run the ball up the middle. Now we did have that nice little, you know, fullback fake or whatever, and then we pitched it off to Jalen Warren, and that was the big touchdown. So there's that. But that's just getting Jalen Warren the ball more. I don't think that necessarily has to do with going lateral or, a style of offense or a scheme of offense. Jalen Warren just needs to be on the field. Screen pass, whatever. Just get him the ball. Can someone legitimately give me a reason why this loss was on Kenny or why the bad offense is on Kenny in the chat? Can someone legitimately give me a reason as opposed to just saying Kenny sucks? Weren't all those other factors that I was talking about very much in play for this game? Yeah, Deontay had a drop or two. Steelers most 7 says every throw is a sideline throw or a dump off pass. It's like Canada doesn't know. There's a whole nother party of the field out there. Whole nother part of the field out there. That's what I'm wondering. Dude, I'm not defending the performance to, this crazy degree right now. I'm not defending. I'm just saying I think there's a whole lot of other issues than just saying Kenny sucks, he's not him, we got to move on. A whole ton, because literally every game or a lot of the games we've won have been this way. And if Kenny pulls off that final game-winning drive, which he's done a lot more than not, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? KG0614, the quarterback of your team is supposed to be the guy to make plays when needed. Kenny, other than sometimes in the fourth quarter, simply cannot make plays. Don't receivers got to get open? Doesn't an O-line need to block? No, I will say that. Yeah, I don't know if now Kenny has speed. He has escapability. He doesn't have it like Ben. I would agree to that 100%. Particularly young Ben. There's no doubt about that. But should you be running for your life all the time? Look at Caleb Williams. I haven't seen too many USC games, but all the ones that they lose, it looks like he's always running for his life. Is that a strategy for success as an offense? Yeah, he can make a ton of crazy plays. But wouldn't it be better to have a scheme or something where you could, just run an offense in a normal flow? Pava. It's not all on him, but he's also not pulling his weight. Yeah, we'll watch the tapes here. We'll watch the tapes. I think some of the schemes, I think some of the play calling took a step back. I truly do. We got Pat Freiermuth back. We got him the ball one time for 7 yards. Pat Freiermuth, the guy that's most would consider top 5 or 6 tight end in the league. At least he was last year. This year he's been hurt, doesn't have much production, but we can all admit he's a talent. We get him the ball for 7 yards. That's it. Screen pass. It was a screen pass. Tight end screen. George Pickens is the only route that he runs, some sort of out on the sideline or some sort of vertical on the sideline. I saw a chart where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moved Mike Evans literally all over the field, running every route you can imagine. Why aren't we doing that? X Concepts 1. Quit blaming everybody but Kenny. Kenny was the worst QB in the NFL today. Did I say Kenny was amazing today? That's my thing. I'm not saying he was incredible. But we aren't really. Now, my buddy sent this text, and this might be something to think about. We're not really letting him do much, it feels like. It feels like we really do have the handcuffs on him, and they're just like, don't turn the ball over, get us to the fourth quarter. Because then you notice in the fourth quarter, we had no hesitancy for that final drive to throw 3 passes right off the bat. They're just like, don't turn this ball over. Let's get this to the fourth quarter. You get a game-winning drive. And what's funny is, too, if we do get that drive, we do convert, we do get that touchdown, I would be interested to see everyone's tune right now. I would, because I do think there would still be a lot of negativity and saying we can't keep doing this. This offense sucks. But there was a time where we would celebrate wins like that. There was a time. But now we have social media, highlight culture, fantasy football culture. So people care a lot about style points as opposed to wins. I'm not excusing the offense either. I'm not excusing it. We need to get better. Kenny needs to get better at this and that. But it's definitely not on Kenny. I can promise you that. He missed all 3 passes. I mentioned Deontay dropped the first one. Clear miscommunication on the second one. And yeah, I think he did overthrow Deontay on the last one. I do. Menenza, what happened to your Kenny as a top 3 QB take? Let's wait till the season ends. A lot of football left. Man. I'm getting turned on too. Now I'm seeing a lot of Big Ben comments in the chat. You're talking to the wrong guy because if it was up to me, Big Ben would still be the Steelers quarterback. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir on that, but that was a decision made a couple of years ago. Yep. The sabotage. Let me get to some positive highlights, though. Winners from the game, at least from the Steelers side. Obviously, we lost, but I'll give T.J. Watt and Highsmith some props for that second half. There were no shows in the first half, but I think they stepped up, got more pressure. DTR was uncomfortable. He was throwing a lot of short passes, and we were all over it. They weren't moving the ball down the field, but they started, and luckily Njoku, there was a drop or 2 here or there from the Browns. But yeah, they started working the middle of the field. That final drive, I just really question why we are anemic to it, why we are allergic to it, why we can't just run some slants. Jaylen Warren, I already mentioned, he needs to be RB1 starter. Seeing the field 80 to 90% of the time. Offense is way less predictable when he's out there, and he should be getting at least 20 to 25 touches. Combination of rushes and also catching passes. Calvin Austin, liked him in the punt return game, man. He got us some yards and he caught the ball. Always a plus when you could do that. Let's give a shout out to the Steelers secondary. Outside of JPJ getting a little handsy, getting a penalty there, he was locked down again. Pat P, haven't seen him get cooked in a minute. Like the last 2-3 games, he's been a steady force for us. shout out to him. But then also, as I mentioned, the new guys like a Trenton Thompson in there, Elijah Riley, like those dudes did good things. Didn't hurt us. In fact, Trent Thompson had the pass deflection. The unfortunate part, though, is it hit him right in the chest. Should have been a pick. Maybe could have even taken it back to the house. I don't know if there was anyone that was going to catch him. Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to bring up was the O-line, and kind of mentioned it throughout. I think we took a step back on the O-line. Definitely took a step back. Let me get some of your final comments here, and we'll be on to tomorrow. This loss out of the system, and on to no, is it? It is on to Cincinnati. The Bill Belichick line. On to Cincinnati. Away game. No Joe Burrow. But as we saw from this game, and as we know from Steelers history, we can't be overlooking a team that's playing their backup quarterback. We cannot. Hopefully this is a wake-up call, man. Hopefully it is. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. I already said fire Canada before the bye. Thought the offense got better after the bye, but this was some movement in the wrong direction. Definitely. Man. The Kenny hate's real right now. The Kenny hate's real. The Kenny hate's real. If you can't see that it's not all on Kenny, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. O-line was terrible. Play calls uninspiring, to say the least. Play calls very uninspiring. Could Kenny get better? Sure. Mikey Baca, he's not seeing the field and they don't trust him. The whole they don't trust him part, I don't know. Could be up for debate. It could be a mix of us playing a very good Browns defense, us trying to protect Kenny throughout the course of this game, because if we would just have him out there with little protection and just slinging it, let Kenny cook mentality, might have got blasted. Might have came away from his game injured, and we would have had to put Mitch in. So it could be a combo of that, and could be a combo of, just don't turn the ball over, keep this close, step up fourth quarter, game-winning drive. And that has worked for us. That has worked. Until today. Score Harris, offense had the ball for 14 seconds. Yeah, you're talking about that final drive. Yeah, if we would have known it would have played out that way. Just run the ball and get to overtime. But here's what makes me think they do have faith in Kenny. They let him throw the ball 3 times in a row in that final drive. Like it was nothing. Like there was no question about it. Bro, just go out there, cook, get this dub. So, like I said, maybe it's just a combo of all that. Of like, we're trying to play this conservative ball. We do trust Kenny, but we don't want to expose him to getting blasted or expose him to throwing the ball too much and potentially turn the ball over. And then finally getting to the fourth quarter because we do trust him, though, in a way, because we think he will deliver for us. So I could be just a smorgasbord of all that right now. I like this being brought up. T. Lewis says, props to Landon Roberts. For sure. Awesome in the run game today. Awesome. I think he ended up with, just saw the box score, like 15 tackles. Yeah, 15 total tackles, 11 solo, 2 tackles for loss. Yeah. Yeah, he was solid for us. Steelers most 7. Why, when we're running the ball well, our idiot OC goes away from it? The saying goes, run it till they stop you. This is why I'm calling for Jaylen Warren to stay in the game, because it felt like every time we were running the ball good, we'd put Najee Harris in and then be a 2-yard loss. Every time. Jalen Warren's the starter. Need to keep him in there. It's night and day. It literally is night and day. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, the stats are even worse than I thought because we know what the eye test is. 9 carries for Jalen Warren, 129 yards and a touchdown, 14.3 yards per carry. Najee Harris, 12 carries, 35 yards, 2.9 yards per carry. Jalen Warren in the receiving game, 3 receptions, 16 yards. That's 5.3 a pop. Najee Harris, 1 reception, 1 yard. I think Jalen Warren helps the offense better. Don't think it's a crazy take to have. I think it's a crazy take if you think otherwise, in fact. Prince Stevenson, how about calling for Pickett to get benched? No, because I think if Mitch is in there, he throws us out of the game. Yeah, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I really don't. But I do think it is time to switch it up. We got to use the middle of the field in the passing game. We got to. No matter what you think of this offense, that's something that needs to be incorporated a little bit more. Now, read Kenny stats. Sure. What do you have, like 100 yards? You guys are really coming after this dude. Really coming after this dude. Meanwhile, on the other side, what's his face? Thompson Robinson. Again, I'll give him props. He had that final drive. Give credit where credit's due. He had 43 attempts for 165 yards. We got Kenny with 28 attempts for 106 yards. Thompson Robinson had the pick as well. I mean, I think people want to make it seem like Kenny was like so terrible, so terrible. Yeah, could he get better? Sure. No, Deke, it's because when have I said? Did I say he was amazing? Did I say he was great this game? Did I even say he was good? No, I'm questioning, and I think it's a legitimate question. Is the offense all on Kenny? No, because I saw a lot of other things at play, like the O line, some of the play calling, dropper to a receiver, receivers not getting open. I know we don't see the all 22 from just watching the game on TV, but you could hear the announcer saying it throughout the game. Browns cornerbacks are strapping the Steelers receivers. No one's getting open, so yeah, I guess we get the result we get. Yeah, could Kenny have been better? Yeah, that too. Absolutely. But I guess that's why I'm defending Kenny is because the hate is so strong against Kenny. The hate is unbelievably strong. After a game like this, Kenny ain't it. Move on. Draft a new quarterback. Okay. Okay. Let's let the rest of the season play out. Let's let the rest of the season play out. Let's ignore all the positives we've gotten from Kenny thus far and focus on this game where I think it's fair to say it wasn't all on him as to why the offense was looking bad. But all right. I think that's it for today's stream. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope this was just at least something to give you some positivity. Although I get it. You know what I'm trying to say. Steelers lost. I don't think there's much to be positive about, but in terms of just like some entertainment value, hopefully I provided you some of that. Some good conversation, some good takes. I know a lot of you guys don't think I'm spewing good takes right now, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'm back tomorrow, and we'll do some recapping. I don't know if the all 22 will be out because that's something I would like to watch, and we could look at things with a little bit more fine detail. But stay chilling, everyone. See you tomorrow, and peace.